Welcome students to my another lecture session on International Human Resource Management. So today we'll be discussing about Unit 3. Few topics we'll discuss today. So let us discuss about performance appraisal. So let us see what would be our learning objectives in this video. So in this session we'll be talking about performance appraisal, what are the objectives of performance appraisal, what are the advantages of performance appraisal, and performance appraisal biases. So these four would be our learning objectives in this video. So let us start. So as a HR student, you might have come across this topic quite earlier, though we all know that what about performance appraisal. So performance appraisal is a systematic evaluation of performance of employees in an organization. So why this systematic evaluation is needed? The systematic evaluation is needed to understand the ability of the person and what is their potential for future growth and development. So until and unless we do performance appraisal, we will not be able to recognize the potential employees and would not be able to decide to whom should be promoted, whom should be given career opportunity. So for this purpose, performance appraisal is needed. So from the discussion, it is quite clear what are the objectives of performance appraisal. So one of a few objectives are to determine the compensation packages and wage structures. That means the objective of performance appraisal is to determine the compensation packages and wage structure and their salary structure. So with the help of performance appraisal, we can decide it. Second objective is to access and identify the strengths and weaknesses of the employees so that they can be placed in their proper job, in the right job. So right job for right people. So for this purpose, a performance appraisal is needed. And another objective is to maintain and assess the potential present in a person for future growth. That means the strength and weakness, the strength a particular person has, a particular employee has for further growth, for further development. And obviously, while we talk about performance appraisal, feedback would obviously come. So if proper feedback can be given, then obviously it would be helpful for the employees. So providing feedback to the employees, it is another objective of performance appraisal. And not only that, performance appraisal influence the working habits of the employees, working behavior of the employees. They get to understand that what is their role, what is their responsibility, what they're expected to do. And another objective is that to identify the training needs of the employees, whom should be trained and what kind of training should be given to the employees. So these are the basic objectives of performance appraisal. Then let us talk about some advantages of performance appraisal. Like we know that with the help of performance appraisal, we can promotion for the purpose of promotion, performance appraisal is needed. So this helps the supervisors, this helps the superiors to chalk out the plan promotion program for the efficient employees, so that the efficient employees can be retained in the organization. And as we told earlier, that compensation, so it is also helpful to chalk out the compensation packages for the employees. And employee development, so with the help of training and development programs, after performance appraisal, after identifying the training and development needs, so obviously the employees get the opportunity for their development. We can analyze their strengths and weaknesses. So weakness area can be addressed with the help of training and development programs. So this is another advantage of performance appraisal. Not only that, it is also helpful for selection validation. to identify the selection validation. That means the selection, the way we are selecting the people, we are recruiting the people, or the way the selection is taking place. So what is the validity of the selection program, and what is the feasibility of this program? So with the help of performance appraisal, we can get to know this. And as we know, communication is important for each and every organization. It is considered as lifeblood of organization. So while you will provide feedback to the employees, obviously you'll communicate with the employees. So with the help of this communication, the employees would be able to understand their roles and responsibilities clearly, and mutual trust and confidence would be there. So cordial and harmonious relationship would be there if feedback is given in a proper way. And not only that, it boosts, with the help of this communication, it boosts morale of the employees. So as we talked about boosting morale of the employees, obviously motivation comes into picture. So performance appraisal uh, serves as motivational tool, one of the motivational tool also, uh, with the help of good feedback, that means proper feedback, we can motivate the employees. If some lacunas is there, we can motivate them in a positive direction, so that he enjoys the work, he remains satisfied. So these are the advantages of performance appraisal. And let us talk about performance appraisal biases. So while superiors or supervisors, they do performance appraisal, so few biases are there that happens while doing performance appraisal. So let us talk about few most common performance biases. So one of the common performance biases is first impression error. First impression. So we know this term that first impression is the last impression. So when it happens, like when rater, when employee impress the raters at the very beginning, when while joining, at the first stage of joining. So the particular rater, it keeps in his mind, if he gets impressed by the employee, then it would be there for long period. And while doing performance appraisal, if it creates impact on his performance rating, then it would be called as first impression error. Okay, and next error is that next bias that may have happen is halo effect. That means when a particular individual is appraised on a particular trait which is very good, and he gets good score on each and every trait, then it would be like a halo effect. For example, if I take this example, like if a worker is very regular in his work, then superior might think that, or supervisor might think that he is a good employee, and he may give him high ratings to all other areas. So regardless his productivity, regardless his any other trait. So if he gives high rating to all other areas, then it would be halo effect. Then horn effect, it is another kind of performance appraisal bias. So it is, you can say it, opposite of halo effect. So if performance is appraised, if any individual's performance is appraised on the basis of negative quality, uh, and afterwards, if he gets negative score in all the traits, in most of the traits, then it would be like a horn effect. For example, if any employee doesn't come with formal dress, and if he is just on this particular trait, that he is casual at work too. So as he is not coming with formal dress, he's casual, and he he has casual attitude to the work too. So then it would be a horn effect. And leniency error, two types of leniency error or bias can happen: positive leniency and negative leniency. So if a rater gives all the employees in a department good score, very good score, then it would be positive leniency. And negative leniency is the opposite of that. Means if all the employees get negative score, then it would be negative leniency error. Then another error would be a central tendency error. This happens. This happens very frequently while performance appraisal. So when it happens, when the rater doesn't have much knowledge about the work or doesn't have much knowledge about the employee, then he's tended to choose the middle path. That means if he is told to rate a particular employee uh, on the basis of scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if he gives the employee score 3 or 4 for all the traits, then it would be called as central tendency error. So regardless their individual performance, individual productivity, if he chooses the middle path, then it would be central tendency error. And next kind of bias would be personal bias. This is quite common. If the supervisor who is doing the performance appraisal, if he favors some employees or any particular employee, and on the basis of this favorability, if he gives good score, then it would be like personal bias. And next type of bias is spillover effect. This is another kind of bias, like if present performance is evaluated on the basis of past performance. So on the basis of past performance, the past performance of a particular employee, it creates impact on present performance, present performance rating, then it would be called as spillover effect. So for example, a person who was good performer in distant past is assumed to be okay or in present also. So as his past record is good, so without doing proper judgment or proper performance appraisal, if he is judged as okay at present also, then it would be spillover effect. And another kind of effect is recency effect. Recency effect is like if the recent behavior of employee creates impact on on performance appraisal or performance rating. So if any recent behavior, recent event creates impact on performance appraisal, then this kind of error occurs, like recency effect. This kind of error occurs. So I hope you have understood the concept of performance appraisal. So thank you, all of you.